I'm at Wilson Williams Gallery, or in short WW Gallery in London at Hutton Gardens, and exhibition titled Sisters by Jonathan Gabb is installed, and I chose Jonathan to be my Artist of the Month for January. Hi Jonathan. Hi. How did you get to this exhibition? How did it? I know you followed the residency.
Yeah, residency. I won the solo award for WW Gallery in 2012. I had a free month residency and £1,000 prize money to basically do an exhibition. As part of my art education, I did some life painting classes, and we used acrylic, which was kind of like basically a substitute for oil painting, something you would always work towards oils. And PVA was a medium used to mix acrylics as a glazing agent. But then also PVA peels away from the surface. So I thought of developing a cast. And I started to experiment with that on my art degree and studied sculpture. How I make them is I use a plastic sheet and I use a PVA and acrylic mix. I mix it up and then you just pour it and spread it over the surface and let it dry. That can peel away, to form these kind of sheets of plastic acrylic paint. But what I wanted to do was take that further and use it somehow to describe the act of painting. So I cut them into these strips. You can see these strips here, and they're kind of like my unit to make large paintings. They're cut individually with a sanding knife into strands, and they come away and then they're hung into the space. Obviously, the first part is almost like a formula or a plan for the process, and then the more creative part comes with how they're hung in reacting to the medium and allowing it to do what it wants to do. There's probably a fair few knots. There's probably 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. There's probably about 1,800, 1,500 knots in this one. So you almost have like two picture planes. So you have one which is obviously very theatrical and three-dimensional and sensual, and then with the waves coming out. So with the two colours, you create a kind of a thickness, a thick shape. And when you walk around to the side, you can get the lines and a kind of drawing, which is obviously within the painting. There's an issue between obviously lots of colour and the lines, the kind of the line and form. It's good. Because it's abstract art. Even though I have my motivations for doing it, I think people react to it in different ways or have an opinion, and it does hit you when you come in because the size of the space, it does fill this part of the room, and I kind of thought that would happen because you have the door entrance there and it hits you. I think the light has activated it. The colours I use as well, the selection process is kept to a minimum. I don't mix the colours. I like to keep them as they are in the pot when you buy them off the shelf. They have a kind of density to them, so it's almost like kind of ready-made that you're selecting, and the method of casting keeps that density. So with this one, it's kind of the colours, 7 colours of the spectrum, or a kind of, it's not correct because the spectrum is hard to have unless there's light activating, things in crystals or light. So I thought that's a kind of playful selection as well, and keep it simple. Yeah, this one's called Prime Titanium 4. I made it, I wanted to use the kind of, there's a skylight above. I wanted to kind of have something quite dramatic coming through from the studio space where I had my residency, sort of coming into the gallery space. The white is kind of like a sort of description of the light, and in a way, and it also, you know, technically it reflects the light and kind of makes people kind of look up. And so we've got all these strands coming through in kind of different worlds. This is a bit more random than the other work, and very dramatic, and with these kind of streams of paint coming down. It's three primary colours: red, yellow, and blue. And yeah, so that's another kind of simple colour selection. And with all the works, I like to have a frame. I like to keep the frame of the initial piece when it's been casted, just to show, make it relevant, kind of show its two-dimensional past, and kind of honest approach, really. These I didn't cut the strands and tie them to the white, and what it does is it kind of creates another kind of effect of tension, almost like kind of like stretching a canvas. And it kind of simplifies the work, and you can clearly see the frame on this one. It's kind of like with all the works, there's a system of making or a formula, which is right. I have a sheet this large, I cut the strands of a certain size. That's kind of like the basic given, the constant, and the variant is in the hanging of the work, how you respond to the space.